And good morning, or I should say, good Resurrection Sunday morning. And this is a special Sunday, and for Christians worldwide. And this is celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. There's a great sermon. It's actually so few words. It's Friday, but Sunday is a-coming. And it's an amazing piece, very motivational. I first heard it at a Christian conference center or resort in Maryland, and it was just a really, really cool thing. Hey, Dances with Aardvarks, happy Easter to you too. So yeah, I heard this, and basically the preacher was just saying, it's Friday, and Jesus is on the cross, and the world is in turmoil, and the disciples have fled, and and he just all this negative, and he said, it's Friday, and Jesus is dying, but Sunday's a coming, and that was the gist of the sermon, and it was actually really cool. But all that said, again, happy Resurrection Sunday for the Christians out there. This is a very momentous day for our faith. So anyway, let's get started here. I think my hand's here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So update on the eye. It still sucks. If I look through right now, it's really blurry. Just take some gauze, put it in front of the eye. That's what it looks like. I went to the eye doctor on Friday. She's a little bit concerned about how slow the eye is healing, so she put me on 2 different medications. One I just started today, which is the steroid, which is supposed to reduce the inflammation and the pain, because I do have a lot of pain. I've been taking a leave, and I really shouldn't be, because that's not good for my kidneys. I've had kidney issues because of a leave. She also put me on this prescription that is actually an ointment. Yeah, so I've got to get this ointment into my eye, and let me tell you, that is not fun at all. So what's happening is my eye, being that it's blurry, what I have to do is close my eye so I can look through my right eye and then try and work. Well, it's been near impossible. So this week I really haven't done a whole lot. I've drilled some holes. So this will be the project today. We're going to get on the scroll saw. And what I did is I arranged, I forgot who the artist is. I don't think it's Alex Fox. I'll have to double check that. But what this is for Memorial Day, and you'll notice that I always tend to do my pieces a lot earlier. You'll see people putting out videos right now for Easter projects, and it's like, well, that's all fine and dandy, but if you want to do it, then you've got to rush it. So in this case, I try and get things out a lot earlier and make it so that people can say, wow, I really like that. Who did it? And again, I think it's Alex Fox. It may not be. But what I'll do later today is in the description, I will put who I got this from. And I know I got it from Etsy. But this is basically a very simple 4-layer Memorial Day piece of the traditional fallen soldier. And what I plan on doing when I get it all cut out and I'm ready to glue it up, I'm going to rattle can it, and I'm going to use kind of a beigey brown and green, kind of going in lines with the color of the winter marine BDUs. Well, they're not BDUs, ADUs if I remember correctly. Which also, if you look at the Army, especially their new uniform, their dress uniforms. They've gone back to, I believe it was kind of a beigey brown pants with the green jacket, and it was more of a World War II styling. It's fantastic. My son-in-law just graduated from the Air Force University in Ohio, master's in nuclear engineering. So of course he was in his full uniform, the new uniform, and it really looks sharp. So I'm going to go with those colors so that I can kind of make this cross branch in a way. And I know, I forgot who it was, no, I do remember, made fun of me for wanting to put some brown in, saying that's not in the uniforms. Well, it actually is. And I'm trying to remember, I know the Navy changed their uniforms from the blueberries to a newer uniform, and it does have greens and I think browns in it. So this should be pretty good for cross, excuse me, cross military. So what I'm going to do is I've already drilled this out. So you can see that, and this is more of the simple part, where if you take a look here, especially with the laces and everything, this is a lot more complex. So this is going to be the first time trying to cut with my eye messed up. So I'm going to give it a whirl, but what I need to do, I did put some packing tape on the back because this is Baltic birch, and I really do not like Baltic birch, to be honest. But that's how I'm going to do this piece. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to take that off. That's what I used when I was drilling to, hopefully, I still have some of the splintering. And that's why I really don't like Baltic birch. No matter what I do, I always get this horrible splintering, even though they're new drill bits. The good news is that, this is going to be hidden. But what I do need to do, let's see, I noticed that one did not get drilled through all the way. And let me take an old blade here and see what we can do. And just want to ream that hole out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's enough. I think I might have made too small of a hole there. But I am going to try and start with a number 3 blade today. The reason being, again, with my eye and trying to control the blade, I'm not sure how well that is going to work. So let me switch over to the scroll saw. There we go. And let's see, I think you should be able to see that. I'll adjust, get it zoomed in and everything like that. Let me get my chair to the proper height. And, well, actually, I may be a little bit low. So let me see. So we're going to do a few inside cuts. Let's see. Let's get some stuff out of the way so you can see here. So we've got the boots here and 3 inside cuts, and we've got 2 for the helmet. Then on the weapon, we have the trigger and the handle. So very easy normally. So this is going to be very interesting for me. I haven't cut for over a week and a half now. So I think I'm going to start out with the trigger. That seems to be, oh man, I cannot see a bloody thing. Let's see. Maybe I'm starting with the trigger. I don't know. Yep, I am. Okay. So we'll start with the trigger and kind of go from there. Now this is a triple stack, and I cannot see. Yeah, so pardon me. Yeah, this is tougher than I thought. I'm going to adjust the tension in the back a little bit. Give me a little bit more tension. Hopefully a little bit more control. And I don't get any drift, because that's my concern, is trying to get some clean lines and work with just one eye. Well, I'm going to try with two eyes because right now it looks clear-ish. And let me get my fan started here. I've got my big 1 horsepower going. All right, let's start cutting. See how this goes. And I think I'm going to slow this down just a little bit, trying to maintain control and go slow. All right, we're on the line. Yeah, this is, I got to close an eye. See, I have no depth of field, so on this turn, let's see, let me make sure, I guess you can see that. So I'm pulling back a little bit, trying to do these turns very slowly. Again, with no depth of field and wow. This is tough. All right, turn that off. Ooh, that's loud. All right, let's get that up. Okay, so there we go. First cut with one eye. Yay. I did it. So anyway, you could saw that. There we go. Yeah, I can saw. Obviously, you can see. You know, I'm trying to use proper English here. You can see that I do have 3 pieces here. So there you go. So this will be the triple stack. And I'm trying to do more multiple cuts, stack cutting when I do pieces like this. You know, I cannot see. Let me do it from this side, see if I can see the whole. Wow. Okay. Wow. You got to laugh at these things. I'm hoping that the damage isn't permanent. The doctor, I think she hedged her words a little bit Friday. And I do go back to see her first thing Tuesday morning before her rest. Yeah, her regular, man, I can't even speak today, her regular patient. So she's going to check me out, what's nice is she's getting me in quickly. And this particular office is just, gosh, not even 5 minutes from base. So even though I give up my primo 4 o'clock in the morning parking spot right in front near the building, near HQ, I'm going to have to give that up and drive to her office. But, of course, this is for a good cause here. So let me see if there's any comments. And yeah, there we go. And actually, yeah, I hope to have a good Easter there. My wife is at church right now, and my daughter, son-in-law, and my grandson will come over for Easter dinner. And my wife is also inviting a lady over. She's alone. I think she's 80 84 years old or something, still driving. You know, she came to this country from Mexico, but she reminds me of my own mom. My mom passed away, gosh, it's been 6 years. Yeah, 6 years now. So, you know, the way that her hair is cut and the darkness of her skin, she's a small woman and everything, but, you know, as a Christian woman, she's full of life, full of joy, and that is important. Oops, let me get the fan on here, the air handling system. There we go. Oh, wait a second, something's not right. Ah, what did I do? I didn't see where I put this. There we go. All right, let's get to the line. See if we can cut straight. I got my face buried into my magnifying glass. I'm off the line a little bit. Wow, this is a struggle. So I'm backing up. Not quite a nibble. There we go. All right, let's see if I can go straight here. And stay on this line. I got one eye closed. Drifting just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm being a little bit quiet here, trying to focus on the cuts. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Being quiet. So let's see how that looks. Not too bad. It is a little bit of a struggle, as you could see. And I didn't mention how I did this. Is I took CA glue, and of course, you know, from here down along the side to about here. Whoops, let me get my finger to about here, and nothing here. A little X here in the corner, and then just a little bit here. That's usually how I do the Baltic birch because of potential of warping and such. Yay, I was able to thread it. Okay, wait a second here. Come on. Yeah, I'm going extra slow. Yes, I am. So, wait a sec. Let me get that in there. So, when I do Baltic birch, I will use CA glue. And actually pretty much any stack cuts that I do using the, let me see how this is going to cut here. You know, I do use the glue on the edges and everything. I just find for me, it gets all the pieces as tight as possible. There's no flopping around or anything like that you would normally see. All right, let's get the air handling on. See if I can do this a little bit faster. I guess if I concentrate and not talk, okay, so, you know, I think this is easy enough to do a nibble cut to get onto the next line, but there are other ways of doing it, and let me show you another way of doing a cut like this. Is you make a little notch, for lack of a better term. You can make it bigger in the waist area, and then you back into your cut, and then you can turn like this. So this is another way of getting a nice sharp corner. All right, let me get my face. Can't see. All right. You know, never be afraid to use that waist area. So a lot of people are not comfortable making those quick turns, those snap turns. Oh, my light is in the way. This is not good. All right, I got to move my magnifying glass out of the way for this turn here. This is one of the issues that I have. Oh man. Until I can figure out how to mount my magnifying glass on this new saw so that it's out of the way. Whereas before, it was mounted on the wall. I hope I'm not too loud today. All right, I think I'm clear of that cut area. All right, let's see. Oh, I see somebody else on the chat. Let me move over here. All right, Dances with Aardvark. We'll be right back. I'll tell you, this 31-inch arm is a lot harder to lift up, but it doesn't flop down like the 21 did, which is nice. So what I did, I don't know if I've ever shown pictures of it, but I am on a rolling cart that is from Harbor Freight, and they have some really neat attachments. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Some magnetic attachments. Kind of tough to see here. So this is their tool holder, and I have it right underneath the saw. So not only does it hold a few of my tools, but, okay, get in there, there we go. But I use it to throw my scrap wood. So I just pitch it in underneath, or if anything that falls from here will drop right into it. Before that, I was using cardboard. So that was kind of neat, and I'll figure out how to get that to work a little bit better. And then, oops, I bent that. I also have a cup holder, but I have nothing in it. I forgot to bring my big mug in that I usually keep water or my caffeine drink, sport drink in. And then I have a paper towel holder that away. So everything is really nice. I like those magnetic mounts on it. So there you go. Let's see. I guess let's go make another internal cut. I'm kind of doing okay, although I can't see my holes that well. There we go. My starting holes. Yeah, what's happening right now, my eye is really watery. Wait a second. Actually, what I need to do is dab my eye. About an hour ago, I put the steroid in, which is just a drop, and that's supposed to reduce the swelling, the pain, and any itching and stuff like that. Then earlier this morning, I tried, to put the ointment in, and that was a freaking nightmare. Because you're supposed to hold down your bottom eyelid and then put a 1/4 inch of this goop. So think of it just as like Vaseline jelly, a 1/4 inch of it, and then pull down your bottom eyelid and get it in. Well, yeah, easier said than done, because it keeps getting caught in the bottom eyelashes, and instead of rolling into the eyelid, into the eye, it's rolling outside. So it's like, am I actually getting this medication into my eye? I personally think doing an ointment like that is really stupid. It just introduces way too many things and the difficulty of it versus, again, an eye drop that maybe if they could put some type of suspension that is a lubricant similar to the ointment. You may have to do it more, but it's easier. You know when you get it in because it ain't running down your cheek. So yes, my depth perception is gone. Right now I got both eyes open, and it's like a slight haze because my left eye, which is the damaged eye, is dominant. So I'm seeing just a slight haze. And then it's very fatiguing, is the second part. The third part is as I'm staring through here, this, and I'm so intently focused, then my left eye starts to water. And then I can't see. So then I close that eye, lose the depth perception. And I think it's more, if this stays like this, I'm going to have to learn to overcome it. I mean, I may have to just patch the eye when I'm working so that I just will look through my right eye. there's a lot of people that I know that have one eye and are incredible artists, for example, woodworkers and stuff like that. My friend Alex, who I graduated high school with, lost his eye when he was a young boy. And, then eventually, I remember, I think it was either junior year, wound up getting a glass replacement. But the art, oh my gosh, what this guy can do, just phenomenal, phenomenal. So make sure that's not in the way. Yeah, this may be a little bit too bright for you. Let me see, let me go the other way. So when I close, there we go. That should make it a little bit easier for you. Actually, it's maybe a little bit easier for me too, because the other issue that I'm having is that my eye is very light sensitive. So that makes things a little bit funky for me as well. So let me get the air handling back up and running. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start. I always like to start and finish cuts I can't really see. I like to start and finish cuts in a place that I can hide errors. You know what I'm going to do? Oh, I'm going to back into this cut. I didn't go far enough, I think. Yeah. But I do like to use the corners for start and finish. Because if you do it on the straights like I have been doing, sometimes you get that little bump where you didn't quite finish where you started from. Ooh, that is loud. Let me cut down some of the, there we go. Had to cut down some of the suction on the bottom. Get back on this high stool. So starting in the corner just hides it. And it's more logical to start and finish in those corners. The interesting thing that my eye doctor had said to me, and I had figured it out or I read it, the initial prescription that wait a second. I cannot tell if I'm at the line or not. There we go. Hold on for a sec. The initial prescription that I got from the urgent care was an antibiotic, which made sense because it was organic matter that got underneath my safety glasses when I was mowing the yard and mulching leaves when the wind blew up. So the antibiotic was used as a prophylactic to prevent or eliminate, if it was already there, any potential infection. The issue, though, with that prophylactic is that it slows down the healing process. And I'm like, oh, damn. But compared to where I was a week ago, I've made a lot of improvement going from seeing through glass that is totally covered with petroleum jelly. I mean, you could just barely make out the shape if a person was standing behind it. So think of one of those frosted shower glass, to a shower. Hold on for a sec. There we go. So let me get my my pokey stick. Where's my pokey stick? There it is. So I'm going to try and get these pieces out because I want to clean up that corner a little bit. Come on, one more. I might be able to do it with this like this, but come on. It wants to give me fits. All right, I'm just going to do it like this. I want to clean up this corner just a little bit. There we go. That's all I needed to do. Okay. Let's turn that off for a little bit. Usually I'm wearing hearing protection, so this is just a little bit too loud for me. There we go. Let's see. Oh, I'm seeing a few more comments here. Let me not ignore you. Oh, wow. So you had to use an eye patch for a couple weeks. You made a copper sting. Oh, I love it. A copper steampunk one. Oh, man. I'd love to see a picture of that. A metal spark in the eye. Yeah, that kind of stinks. That's why, it's funny is, the first thing that people will say to me, oh, something happened in the workshop. Well, no, it wasn't the workshop. It was, obviously, as I said before, it was in the yard. But what I did, I was stupid. Let me go grab them. I can't find my other ones. Actually, I know where they are. I moved them into a place that I would remember, but of course you always forget. And I'm stepping over wires right now. So usually in the yard, I will wear these. They've got a little bit better side shield, but no top cover, no bottom cover. But I was in a rush. I went out, and these are usually what I wear in the workshop. But again, no side covers. What I should be wearing, let me grab them and unzip it. These are prescription as well, but they're not bifocals. So, as you can see, they not only have a top shield, but they have the nice side shields, and the bottoms are also a lot thicker to keep stuff from coming up. So theoretically, these, even though, here's the problem. These are prescription, and so they're medium distance, which is usually the lens that I look through when I am looking through my magnifying glass. So let me get that in place here. You can see the top of it. So when I'm looking through here, get you out of the way, I can put myself at a certain distance so everything is nice and sharp, of course. With these are bifocal, which the upper are the same as the full lens of these big glasses, and then the bottom is for closer. And sometimes, when I get my face closer and I want to see some details, I can then look through the bottom bifocal. Whereas these are not prescription, but what's really cool about them is they have, I think it was either a 3/4, let me get it, my finger there. I think, is that in the way? You can't see it, but right about here, there's a 3/4 magnifier in there. I bought these at Harbor Freight, gosh, probably about 8 or 10 years ago for $3, and I use them outside on my tractor. But, again, with the way things blew up, I'm going to have to change that. The issue is what I also did is I took, did I stop something here? Wait a second. Let me make sure I didn't screw up here. There we go. Hold on for a second. I'm going to switch to the workbench and back to the scroll saw. There we go. Okay, so I have a tractor with a 42-inch deck on it, and that deck, that's a lot of power when it outputs, and I was using it to mulch the leaves left over from fall in my yard, and I usually have a cover over the output, and that way it just mulches everything within the deck. But with the amount of leaves I had to do, of course, that was not going to work very well. So I took that cover off and was blowing the leaves out, and unfortunately, the wind kicked up at the worst possible moment. Let me get this in and tight. There we go. And all I remember is as I'm going through this cloud of dust and leaves and dirt and just swirling around me, I'm going, let me get the mic covered a little bit, trying to keep it out of my nose, out of my mouth, but of course nothing much I could do with the eyes. And lo and behold, wound up getting something under the eyes. So, just one of those stupid things. So I think what I may wind up doing is if I could find something with about a 0.5 magnification that gives me distance, because I wear distance medium when I'm driving. Then when I'm at the computer or at the scroll saw, it's medium close. Or when I'm reading, it's kind of close medium, medium close. So, I have to have different adjustments because my eyes are kind of wackadoodle. And that is a medical term that I've coined. So needless to say, I'm going to rethink when I am out in the yard that output will be covered so that I'm not kicking up as much dust and debris. And kind of go from there. It's not fun. It's not a fun thing. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to hit that corner at a little bit more obtuse angle. And kind of a little, I think my magnifier's in the way. I'm going to try and get it at a different angle. Ooh, yeah, bring that up into my face. I'm leaning to the right, trying to see through the magnifier as I make this turn. There we go, I'm clear. Yeah, that's going to be one of my projects this week, is figuring the best place to mount this. I may have to rearrange things in the shop a little bit so I'm along the wall again, I don't know. I was thinking of a stand, because I do have some old light stands from my photography days that I could probably mount this to. Give me a little bit more flexibility. I'm trying to do this with both eyes open. Woo. I will say this, it is very fatiguing, and Aardvarks, you let me know when you said you had to wear a patch for a couple weeks, how fatiguing it is trying to see through one eye when you're not used to it, of course, and trying to do detailed work. But what's interesting, you patched your eye. One of the things that I was told was to not patch my eye. Yeah, I'm way off the line here. But what's nice, since this is just a little bit abstract, it's not super critical to stay on the line, but again, I'm pretty anal about it. I'm going to do a nibble here. So again, like this corner here would be an ideal candidate to make that little cutout if you want, and then back into it. But being that the number 3 is pretty small, I can do it like this. So here, with my nibble, I was able to do the same thing. You know, I got to switch glasses. That's the one thing, is like at this point, I really need my lower glasses. Yeah. So a little wiggle in this. But yeah, for the whole week, actually now a week and a half, things have been a standstill in the workshop. All my projects, I still have 20 cars to complete, toys. So I don't like this feeling of lack of accomplishment. And I have to keep saying to myself, it is what it is. If you remember Forrest Gump, when he was running across the United States and he stepped in a pile, and he said, and what was this thing? Shit happens. So I'm trying to make the best of this, have the best attitude that I can, because really that's all there is to it. I can be whining and complaining, woe is me, and think that I'm not going to heal. But I choose, and that's a key word, I choose not to do that. I mean, I'll tell the facts of what happened, and I'll be truthful to how I feel. It's tiring. It's scary at sometimes, where it's like, man, what's going to happen? Because especially at work, I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of editing and writing, and I had to leave work early every day because by the time, I'm in at 5 in the morning, by the time noon rolls around, I'm starting to really get fatigued. So I would leave about 1 o'clock or so, which is still an 8-hour day. But been avoiding going into the workshop. Yeah, let me get that out of the way a little bit. I've been avoiding going into the workshop. Getting on the scroll saw. Yeah, I'm off. Ugh, that's frustrating. I gotta stop being so anal. Yeah, this is... I think that's definitely going to be my project this week. I'm gonna do a nibble this way. Just because this stupid arm is in the way and I can't see a bloody thing. There we go. So that's how I do an outside cut. I nibbled out to the right into the waist area. Lined it up, so now I can just get a sharp 90-degree turn, and I'm drifting to the left because I'm not paying attention. And it's a little bit blurry right now. But I'm going to assume with practice, if my eye does not get better, I'll master this. But again, hope for the best. Clean up that corner a little bit. There we go. So yeah, I'm doing this a lot slower. Than normal. Just seeing that arm get in the way. Yeah, what I'm going to do is after this Saturday live, I am going to, let me get this in. I'm going to figure out how to mount this sucker. So let's see, what do we got for comments here? Yeah, look, I'm blessed. There's no doubt about it. And there is always somebody who's worse off. And these people have overcome. I mean, even my nephew is blind in one eye since, I think, birth. And I think he's working in a machine shop for Corning Incorporated, doing quite well in the union shop there. So, that's really the key. Is the attitude, is the willingness to adapt, overcome, or, Marines, improvise, adapt, and overcome. And that's key. And again, do it with, the best attitude that you can, and not be, woe is me. All right, got to get that out of the way. I never realized how dependent I became on that 5x magnifying glass and light. Because when I pull it away, it's like, holy moly, that's like 1,000,000 miles away. But yeah, we stay with the good attitudes. We think of our blessings that we have. Yeah, do we have some challenges? Sure. But compared to others, our challenges are nothing. And we have to remember that. We, in the United States, in the West, I think of some of the European countries, we live in the best countries in the world. You think of where we were 100 years ago, well, we'll go back 200 years, the struggles that people have. I think of, part of my family came to this country in the 1600s to Pennsylvania after fleeing religious persecution. They were Anabaptist. They went to the Palatine area of Germany and then fled at invitation of William Penn. Then I have another part of my family that fled, it was pre-Soviet, so this would have been early 1900s. So the Russian Empire fled that because of the pogroms and the religious persecution there. Eventually it was the Soviets and the Nazis of World War II that some of my family that did stay did not survive. So you compare that. I compare that to my grandparents, my great-grandparents who came to this country, the United States, through the port of New York, through Ellis Island, and I do have their record of coming over. Some of them, the Italian side of the family, they were, I forgot what it was, what was it called? Subsistence farming in Italy. They were from Palermo, the island of Sicily, and they felt they would have a better life here for their children, and that's exactly what happened. Most of my family started their own businesses. They were tailors, they were seamstresses, they were furniture makers, upholsterers. Yeah, I gotta pay attention. Hold on for a second. I am way off this line. But they still struggled. My family came to this country, let's see, like I said, 1600s for one branch, late 18, early 1900s for the remaining. And we're talking Hungarian came in 1907. Italian was, I think was late 18, early 1900s if I remember. And then the Russian was late 18, early 1900s as well. Let me pay attention to this final little doodad here. Okay. So, and my story is not unique. Not unique at all. And so many that came to this country and still had hardships. I mean, the Jewish side of my family, the persecution that they still suffered, and the Italian, how they were treated in the cities and everything like that. It was, something that they had to overcome, but their goal was to leave a life better for their children. And again, that's exactly what they did. I remember my Poppy. That's where my name comes from. Italian side of the family. Never had much. But he and my grandmother, she was the Jewish side of the family. That's a whole other story. When they got married, she was declared dead by her father. And it wasn't until, I think it was almost 11 years later when they finally reconciled. But yeah, my great-grandfather declared her dead for marrying a Gentile, rent his clothing, sat Shiva, the whole thing, forbade my great-grandmother and my uncles from ever seeing her, but they kind of did on the sly. She had six brothers. And man, when I met them, I didn't even know they were Jewish, even though one's Moshe, and I didn't know he was Jewish. I was young. And they were the happiest, funniest people, and they too, their parents did what they did to overcome, what it was. I know my great-grandfather at one point owned a small grocery store. They call them bodegas now. But, he started off with a food cart and then wound up getting a little grocery store bodega. That's how he made his money. A couple of my uncles served in World War II. Many of them were artists, fantastic artists. And they were able to make a living out of that. So, it's all about overcoming. And again, going back to part of my original statement is, in the West, in the United States, in countries in Western Europe, we are so blessed with what we have, the technologies that make our lives easier. Look, I hurt my eye, and I was able to go to urgent care, and I think it cost me $20 for my copay. And that's only because I picked the wrong insurance this year. I got confused, no big deal. But it was $20. Then I was able to follow up with my regular eye doctor. The improved health care that we have. Even though we can complain, yes, there are people who don't have health care, but if they're in an emergency, at least in the United States, and I believe in pretty much every Western European country, they will be seen by a doctor. I remember when I was pretty much struggling when I first got married, and my daughter got very sick. She was like 1 year old, and we were in another state, and we didn't have legitimate health insurance at the time. So we went to the emergency room because my daughter was puking and screaming, and it was an ugly scene. So here we are in Massachusetts, go into the ER, and they asked about our insurance. We said, no, we don't have it. And she says, okay, here, sign here. And she said, you don't have to pay anything. This will be taken care of by the state. Wound up, somehow or another, my daughter had gotten worms. And they were shocked. They're like, look, your daughter doesn't even have a diaper rash. She's clean. We think what it was is that she ate some snow outside. And of course, there was something in it. We just didn't catch her putting the snow in her mouth. But, simple fact of the matter, that was probably a $1,000 bill that was taken care of. They gave her medication straight from the internal pharmacy. If it cost us anything, it was like $5. Now I have regular insurance. My daughter, during COVID, got blood clots up to her heart in her legs. They had to go through her legs, both legs. And we saw the bill. It was over $100,000. And she was still on my insurance at the time, if I remember correctly. I'd already met my deductible. It cost us nothing. So we are blessed in so many ways, and I'm drifting like crazy now. I'm getting tired. Wait a sec, let me readjust here. Oh, my eye's getting tired. Yeah. And that's my struggle. Big whoop-de-doo-dah day. You look at our environment today. Our environment is so much cleaner than even 60 years ago, 50 years ago. You look at what we had to deal with in the 60s and 70s was the smog and acid rain, which you don't hear about anymore. The ozone layer, you don't hear about much anymore. See, we've been able to overcome so much, getting smarter. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. But we're getting better. We're improving. We're mitigating. And we're overcoming. And We are blessed. All right, I think this will be my last cut. Here we go. This will be my last cut. Okay. Whew, that's noisy. So there we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'm an hour and 6 minutes in. Not too bad. Let's take a look at all these internal cuts. Oh, boy, that's heavy. So these were the simple internal cuts. I'm definitely going to put off the more complicated ones. So here's these. I'll do the external cuts. If not today, tomorrow, since I have the day off. But let me pull this out here. So I'll finish drilling out this either today or tomorrow. Not too much to drill out. It's probably about 20, 30 minutes tops. And then do that. I do see two critical areas, maybe three. So here and here. Whoops. Because there's not a lot holding it. So I got to be careful there when I cut that. So I'm debating what I may do is when I cut it is do a little fillet. So I may round that a little bit in the beginning and then trim it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that final cut there. See, the trigger shouldn't be that difficult. This is a little bit fragile here with these two pieces. I may make that a little bit thicker. I'll be careful there. So I'm looking at where I may change the design just a little bit. So let me do this. Let me get my light up positive so I can see a little bit better. So I think I got some pencil there. So what I'm thinking, where was that? This here, yeah, there we go. Let me get I may round that just a little bit more or bring it in just to give me a little bit more support since I'm only doing 3 millimeter. Same thing here. I may come in just a wee bit. See, being that some of these areas are a little bit abstract, you can get away with that. This shouldn't be too bad. This, I don't know. That is thin, but I'm going to go with that. These are okay. But yeah, what I'm thinking that I may do, at least for the initial, is maybe make a little filet mignon here and here. Then, I'm debating. Then after everything's cut out, I may come back and revisit that with the final cut. Have to think about that. But at least now I know what my plan is on how I want to do that. This is another part that is a little bit more hinky as well. I may do the same thing there and the same thing, gotta close one eye and do the same thing there. And I may leave it like that. Again, I don't think that's super critical with the dog tags. But I can always go back after. That's the beauty of it, is you can pre-plan your cuts to give it extra support. And then go and revisit. Because I really hate breaking pieces. I really, truly do hate breaking pieces. So we'll go from there. But yeah, that's the plan for today and tomorrow. I would like to hopefully, normally this would take less than a day, a couple hours, to get this all cut out. And then if the weather is nice this week, above the 60s, then I'll start rattle canning it and then glue it up. And gluing it up, basically you're talking 4 pieces to glue up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces to glue up. this is the backer here. Everything will go to that. So here's layer 2. That's kind of weird. Wait, what do we call it? Layer 4. Oh, okay. So here's layer 4 as the backer. Here's layer 3, which now this would be supported. Will it be? It will not be supported. It'll be hanging free. Ooh, I really need to think about that. I really need to think about that. So these pieces coming off the weapon, so you can see here, will be coming off here. So it is not going to be supported by anything. Wow. I was kind of hoping that it would be. I wonder if I'm going to either leave the fillets in, the fillets, or take this, make another copy, and then make a backer here, so that it's double thick. I don't know. That is an issue, because again, this is only 3mm wood. So we'll see how that goes. So that's it. I think that's going to cover things for today. For this live, I appreciate you coming out and chatting a little bit and watching me do some work and yak away. That's pretty much it. So hey, I wish you many blessings for this Resurrection Sunday, and blessings for the remainder of the week, or now it's the start of the week and the rest of the month and the year, blah, blah, blah. Just blessings upon you. So I'll leave it at that. May the Lord richly, richly bless you. Make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.